What's up, everybody? My name's Tony, and today I'm going to show you how to replace a fuel pump on a 1998 Mitsubishi Eclipse 2.0 non-turbo. So we have an Airtex. You get this at AutoZone. You want to zoom in on there? All right. You can get this at AutoZone fuel pump. This is the fuel pump itself. Some people like to just switch this out. You gotta do some cutting and some clipping and a whole bunch of stuff, and then you still have to replace the filter. Don't do that. It already comes, inside the fuel pump holder. You don't have to hook anything up. You don't have to disconnect anything. You don't have to mess with this little filter, because if you mess this little filter up, your car's not gonna run, or it's gonna run really crappy. So for me, it's just easier to get this. It's got two outlets. One connection is a screw-in and the other one's just quick release. And then you have your power clip. You want to show them that? Alright, so now you know what we're gonna do, where to get it, how much it's gonna be. So now we're gonna do a quick time lapse. I'm gonna show you how to replace this. The fuel pump, super easy. It's gonna be under the rear seat. All you gotta do, two clips. Here, show them this. A little clip right here. You pull on it, the seat lifts up, and this is your fuel pump right here. Okay, stop. All right, so now that you saw how we took the cover off, it's basically 4 screws, cross tip, and all you do is you take one off, one on each corner. So now all you're gonna do is take this clip off, and then with some pliers you're gonna take this little clamp, slide it forward, unhook that, and this right here, this is your fuel line. You're gonna use a 14 and a 17, I believe. Let me check real quick. Okay, so I did some digging around, and it looks like this one right here, the smaller one, is actually 9/16. Now the big one is a 19. This is the first time switching out the fuel pump on a 428. If that's correct, let me know. If not, this is what works exactly. All right, here we go. Time to take it off. All right, so we disconnected the breather hose, the actual fuel line, and the clip. Now we're gonna take these bolts off. You have 6 bolts that actually hold your fuel pump into your tank. I'm gonna take those off. Those are 8mm. Easy way to take that off. 8mm screwdriver. Here we go. Alright, so we got all the bolts off. 8mm screwdriver. Some of them were a little hard to take off, so had to use some leverage, pliers. But that is all that is holding your fuel pump in. So now I'm gonna gently pop it off and slide it through here. You can always use a plastic bag or something to cover your back seat. Make sure you don't get a lot of gas in there or anything. This is a really old car. It's kind of a beater upper, so I'm not too worried about that. Here we go. All right, so here we have, lighting kind of sucks. We're doing this at the end of the day. Well, you can see we got the holder, the fuel pump, and your little strainer. When you're taking the fuel pump out, you might want to tip it a little bit, let that leftover fuel drain into the tank itself, and then you're set. So I'm gonna take this out of the car and put it on the side for now, and then we'll do a side-by-side comparison. So we just took the fuel pump out. Now we're gonna do a little side-by-side comparison. That way you know what to look for whenever you do purchase a new one. So this is the fuel pump we took out, and this is the one we're putting in. Now when you're looking at them, they pretty much look identical. Your clip is a different color, however it is the same shape and everything. As you can see, same size. Fuel line, you got your breather. The casing overall looks pretty much the same. Everything looks the same. These are different color, still the same. One thing I did notice, the new strainer is about double the size as the original strainer. Now, when Mitsubishi came out back in '95 for this specific model, had a lot of things wrong with it. After a while, the company started to get back at it and fix some things. So that's probably all this is. Better intake going into the fuel pump. The fuel pump itself looks the same, so that's all we're really worried about. As you can see, the new fuel pump already comes with the gasket. The old one is still stuck on the gas tank, so make sure you take that off before installing your new one. You don't need any silicone or anything like that. If you're really worried about it, you know, you could put a little bit of gasket maker, but we're not going to do that because, you know, it's not really necessary. That's pretty much it. So here we go. We're going to install the new one in, and it's basically the reverse process of what you did to take this one out. So we're just going to do a time lapse on that. All right, so we're inside the car. This is the old gasket. We got to take this off before putting the new fuel pump in. Try to be careful not to get any dirt inside your tank. That alone can clog up your fuel injectors. As you can see, no glue, no silicone or anything like that. I'm gonna take a small rag, shop towel, whatever you want to call it, and then just kind of clean a little bit of the dirt away from the inside of the tank, just to make sure. Again, be careful. Carefully slide it in with the strainer first, and you just want to be careful not to knock any dirt on there. And you want to line it up exactly the way your old one was, and then just gently drop it in place. If you have to force it in place, you're probably doing something wrong. And there we go, that's it, that's in place. So now we're just gonna bolt everything up. And there you go, guys, that's all it takes. Little side note, the new fuel pump, the bolt that you screw into the line of the car itself was 5/8. So another difference that I didn't know came as an update. So make sure you get the right size wrench, and make sure that you're only turning the lug nut on the pump itself. If you're turning your fuel hose, you're eventually going to rip that hose, and then you're going to have a bigger problem. So you don't turn the hose the fuel line itself, you turn the screw that's on the fuel pump. 5/8. But there you go, it's that easy. A lot of people do is you install your fuel pump, you turn the car, you check for leaks, and then you cap it off, put your seat back in. It's really late in the day right now, so we're not going to do that. I can always just unscrew the cap off and check tomorrow. But there you go. All right, guys, it's getting pretty late in the day, so I'm just going to finish up. What you want to do here is we're going to prime the fuel pump, and the way you do that is you go to not your first click but your second click, and that's the back seat. You should be able to hear your fuel pump running, and it's running. So you do that 1 or 2 times. So our fuel pump works. Now what I like to do is just crank the engine over once just to get some of that pressure out of the lines without actually starting the car. Also make sure you're not in gear. There you go, that was our crank without running. So now it's the real deal. Here we go. So we got some fuel pressure, everything's running pretty smooth. Like I said, a lot of people, what they do is they check, make sure there's no leaks. I tighten everything pretty good. It's getting pretty late in the day, so we're not gonna do that. We'll do that tomorrow. You can see everything running good. Wouldn't be a DSM without the check engine light. I did run this car before I switched the fuel pump out. Let's go ahead and turn that off. I don't want to run it too long because, like I said, I haven't checked for leaks yet. But everything seems to be running pretty good. Thank you guys for watching. If I missed something, make sure you write it in the comments. If you want to see something else done, make sure you write it in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing a lot of videos. This is Project Eclipse that I picked up a while back. Here we go.